Well, of course, Gladys, thank you, and good morning. Today is a very big day for the tourism industry. This follows the docking of a big tourism vessel, Polo, from Zanzibar, with more than 600 tourists on board. The vessel docked this morning at the newly constructed cruise ship terminal here at the port of Mombasa, and the tourists are expected to visit various tourism attraction sites here in the country. A section of them have already disembarked from the vessel and are already boarding the buses and vans already on their way out to those particular areas. This is a big boost to the tourism industry, and of course also with the sector players expecting more of this vessel to arrive this year. Recently we spoke to the Kenya Ports Authority, that is the chairman, Joseph Kibwana, and he told us that this particular cruise ship terminal, ultra modern terminal, will be able to boost the sector, with of course also coming up with ways of strategizing on how to receive this ship of these cruise ships, which are, we are told that this is the first one to arrive this February, but of course others are yet to follow. And speaking on this facility constructed to a tune of 350 million shillings, will have various facilities that will be able to attract tourism, including through duty-free shops and of course other facilities which will be of great interest to the tourists. With of course also traders, I'm seeing some of them already here with their wares selling curios and other carvings. It's a big day for the sector players. Of course also tourism companies, travel and tourism companies, they're all here, of course, offering tourism, various facilities that are expected, of course, to assist the tourists who have just arrived here at the port of Mombasa. So it's a big day for the tourism industry, with, of course, also the sector players coming up together and urging the government to put up measures and ways to ensure that the tourists will be given assistance, and of course also have easy access to various destinations here, not only in the coast region but of course in the entire country. This particular ship will be leaving tomorrow for Seychelles, and remember, it has brought over 600 tourists here in the country. So we'll be interviewing some of them, try and get a glimpse of what they're expecting to enjoy here in the country, and of course also we'll be summing up all those views in our subsequent bulletins. Of course also we'll be speaking to the tourism stakeholders here in the region, and of course also get to hear what the ministry has to say about this and the measures that it has put in place to ensure that the tourism industry continues to rise here in the country. Back to you, Gladys.
Thank you, Kevin Mutai, speaking to us from the newly constructed docks in Mombasa. That is after a cruise ship from Zanzibar actually docked with 600 tourists on board. We shall be keeping tabs with him even as he speaks to some of them to get an idea of what they expect to actually get from the experience here in Kenya. Now over to Kisii County. Janet Nyamwamu now joins us. Janet, what can you expect from your region?
Well, Gladys, a very good morning from these sides of Kisii County. And as we have seen, the rains have been pouring these sides of the country, and the weather man from Kisii County, the Kisii County Director Weather Services, Mr. Henry Sese, is alerting Kisii County residents to brave for the wet weather because the rains are going to be around till early June, and he's advising the county government to unclog the drainage system and the sewerage system so that when the rains come, when the rains continue to pound, the drainage will be flowing and the rains will not cause any havoc in the town and its environs. He is also advising the agricultural department to advise farmers on ways of farming during this wet season and storage of crops so that we cannot go on shortage of food crops. The flash floods have been will be expected this period, and the agricultural department has to be on high alert, and this region experiences some lightning incidences from time to time, and he's advising parents and everybody to take precautions, safety precautions during this time, so that they can advise even the children not to play under trees and to be safe. all through the season. The KPLC and the forestry departments are also advised to look out for all the posts and trees growing along the power lines to avoid loss of life and property. On those living on disaster-prone areas like the Manga Hills, those who live there, we've been experiencing some mudslides. They are told to move to safer grounds to avoid loss of life. That's what the weatherman is advising the Kisii County residents from this area. Gladys.
Thank you, Janet Nyamomu from Kisii County, where she tells us the weatherman is giving a disclaimer about the continued heavy rains. As you do know that the Met Department had actually said right now there's a bit of reprieve in as far as those rains in some parts of the country, but this will continue into the month of March and, as Janet has mentioned, even over to June. Now to Nyeri County, Melita Oletenges now joins us. Melita?
Right, Gladys, in Nyeri today, we expect that the Kikuyu Council of Elders will be meeting at the ASK Kabirini grounds starting from around 11 a.m. The elders, Gladys, of course, these are elders from the Kikuyu community, and they are expected to give direction on a number of issues, starting from the leadership of the region and also focusing on economic matters, of course, in light of the recent changes made by the president and directives made by the president to touch on the coffee, milk and tea sectors. And these, of course, are some of the issues that we expect the elders will be discussing. But more importantly, Gladys, is the leadership of the region. And of course, in light also of the BBI initiative, the elders are expected to discuss a number of issues as well as give the political direction for the community here. This meeting, Gladys, also comes ahead of Dedan Kimathi commemoration, in which the county government of Nyeri is expected to unveil a memorial stone that has taken some time to build and of course now costing the county government about 8 million shillings, and the president is expected to grace that event next week. So we will be attending that meeting at the Kabirini grounds, ASK Kabirini grounds, just to get the details emerging from that meeting, and of course also just to get the views of the elders in regards to the political realignments and alignments from the elders there, and of course just to get their view also regarding which direction they think, as the elders of this community, maybe the community should take in terms of politics, and also their say in regards to the economic situation in the region and how their suggestion to how these should be turned around. We will be focusing on that story and any other story that will be coming out of this region today, and we will be letting you and our viewers get the details as they come. But for now, over to you, Gladys.
Thank you, Melita Oletenges. Looking forward to that. And still staying in the central region, Martin Moura now joins us from Murang'a County. Martin?
Yes, good morning, Gladys. It's a bright Thursday morning from County 021 here. And just to bring our viewer on what we are following up today for our subsequent bulletin is there's a young man, a middle-aged man, who was lynched yesterday evening after allegedly he was accused of defiling his mother. It's said that he has been doing that for a certain duration before the matter came to light. The man is also accused to have killed his father 5 years ago, was lynched and his body set ablaze by irate residents of Maragua Ridge here in Maragua sub-county, which neighbors Kiharo. Something else that I'd like to bring to our attention of our viewers is the Deputy President William Ruto will today pass by a certain burial here in Kandara, to be specific, Kagondoine in Kandara sub-county. It said that he'll be attending a burial of a family friend before he proceeds to Nyeri, where he has other engagement. Something else that we are following up on is, the government has been reviving dairy farming since the CS Munya took over. Now today, farmers from Kirinyaga, Murang'a and Kiambu will be meeting at Kalro in Thika, where they are expected to be trained on modern day farming so that they can be able to benefit from dairy farming. The government has put in measures to ensure that the dairy farmers do not continue to suffer, because there has been complaint that the government has neglected dairy farming, it has neglected tea and coffee. So those are some of the few stories that we are following up from this county, and we'll keep you updated as more unfold. Back to you, Gladys.